G'day everyone and welcome back to Nolsey's Outdoors. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be fitting up the KAON standalone rear roof shelf for my 90 series Prado. It's going to provide us some extra storage in the top of the roof where normally this would end up just being dead space. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just unboxed everything. So what it looks like comes in with the package is obviously the shelf itself, the back wall of the shelf, so this mounts to these holes here, I imagine, with these bolts to protect stuff from falling forward into the cab. It comes with obviously the bolts you need to set it up, an instruction manual, a thank you note, the 2 brackets to mount it with, and a sticker. Love a good sticker with the kit. Apparently this job should only take us about, let's see if it focuses it in, 30 minutes, half a beer. So we're going to put that to the test and I'm going to see how long this actually takes, including filming the process. But surely it shouldn't take super long. So it looks like the first thing we're going to be doing for this is we're going to be removing the grab handles here. So we're going to pull off these little plastic tabs with a little flat-headed screwdriver. They're filthy as, so I'm probably going to put them aside and clean them up on that side and on that side. I imagine it must use the factory mounting hardware for the handles because it doesn't appear to come with any of its own itself. But that means you don't have to pay for that because you've already got it to mount that hardware there with. So reportedly the first step of this is actually to remove these handles. So first we're going to have a little flathead, or maybe like even a jeweler's screwdriver, to pop these little tabs off here and off of there. There's obviously 2 on each side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the factory mounting hardware for these handles to mount up our shelf, which obviously saves us them having to send out their own bolts with it. So that's good as well. Alright, so let's go grab those and then let's get started. Okay, so just got myself a little flathead screwdriver here. It's a little jeweler's screwdriver. If I'm blind, I should be able to stick that into there. Then just pop that right out of there. I got it even off. No. Okay. There we go. That goes out just like that. So you just do that 4 times across all 4 squares with your tiny little flat-headed screwdriver like this. They're going to focus on that. There's no chance. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go look for probably a screwdriver to fit down in that little way to undo these screws in here. So yeah, I've just used a number 2 screwdriver, 2PTX 100mm, if you want to call it that. I mean, 100mm is how long it is, but yeah, it's a 2PTX. Yeah, so just that 4 times to get these handles off, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so it looks like our next step is to take our mounting hardware here, and we're going to be mounting those with the old handles up into that spot up over there, with these extended long pieces facing backwards. So I believe that is the driver's side, and then the opposite one over here is the passenger's side to be able to fit it into there instead. So I'll get those fitted up now and we'll put it all back together. Fitting this up was very easy. Effectively what you're doing is you're just taking your one of these and you're just sort of sandwiching the plate between the factory handle with the factory screws into that pace there. My pro tip was to use, when you're fitting these up, obviously you want to use 2 hands, hold the screw in with the screwdriver on that side and thread it in gently with the screwdriver there. Just be very gentle, you don't cross thread it. And then hold your thumb over this one so it doesn't fall out while you're trying to put it all together and go. You could do it all by putting it like 1 bolt in, feeding it through 1 go. That's a way. However you want to go about this really is easy. Now I've gotten this to a pretty sturdy, like I mean, I'm shaking the whole car now with that, so that's pretty solid. That's still as solid as it used to be. And then I guess what you do is you just take your plastic pieces like this and you just clip. If you get the right way around, that'll help. Yes, you do. You just clip that back into there, bang, and you clip that onto there, and then that's that part of that done. And you just want to repeat the same thing on the other side over here, and then we're going to look at the next step from there. So the next instruction is to assemble the actual shelf itself. Very, very simple. What we're doing is we're going to grab a socket with an extension and a spanner, and we're going to attach this rear fence just here to these holes along the back way here with these bolts. There should be enough here to be able to sort those bolts onto there instead. A couple of nuts, maybe some washers, and we're going to have the same deal here for, in this bag we'll have the same thing here for when we put this together. So let's put that together with the 4 points of contact. There, 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 and there. That was completely wrong, but there's 4 of them. And then we are going to move on from that. On a side note, what I really love about this kit, not only is it like plain, simple, completely pictured, custom for the car you've bought it for, I love the fact that they put the torque specs for each different size of bolt that you need to use. This is excellent. This is thing there. I'm going to ignore this for this kit, but I'm just going to do it up until I feel comfortable. But yeah, if you're a torque fiend, yeah, that's all the torque fag is for you just there. Okay, so I've just put all these nut and bolt combos in all 4 of their homes. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way along there. I've just done it finger tight. I dropped it in, then fed it with my fingers. So now what they are is that 8mm? Yeah, they are all 8mm nut and bolt combos. So I got this spanner here to hold the nut on this side, and then I've got the compensated 3000 here to help me do up all the the bolts on the top side. If you don't know how to do up a nut and bolt combo nowadays, I can't help you, I'm sorry. But we're going to button those up there, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so if you are a torque fiend and you love that, those 8mm bolts, if I'm reading this correctly, those 8mm bolts should have theoretically been done up to 22 Newton meters is how I'm going to read it, but I'm not an expert. Correct me in the comments down below. Me though, I did this up to tight enough, and that's probably too tight, to be honest. I just used my own hands. That'll probably be too much. But yeah, that feels nice and solid now. So now we're going to actually mount it into the car itself. So this next part of the instruction calls for friends to help, but I don't have those, so I'm going to do my best to mount these holes on the edge here in with the holes on the bracket, obviously. Now I'm going to set this so it's as far forward or to the back of the car as I possibly can, and that way I won't have to reach as deep into it to be able to get access to stuff. So, but I'm worried about it having some clearance issues on the actual body here. I don't think so. I think it'll only come to about there maybe, so I think it all should be sweet. But yeah, I'm going to go my best. I might prop something up here to hold up one end while I fit the other. I'll work it out from there. Okay, so this looks a bit sketch, but I've got ocky straps here to suspend it so I can then thread a bolt into the back way, that way there instead. That's probably the correct way around, yeah, for sure. And then I'm going to whack another bolt through there so it's loose over there. Now this will flex a little bit because it's alley, but once that's put onto those bolts there, I'll be able to, that side will be suspended a little bit and held up with the bolts. And then I'll put those bolts up into those holes over there. And then once it's all good, it's all good. But if I let that go slowly, that should be sweet. These ocky straps are doing the Lord's work at the moment, but I'll get these 4 bolts in and then tighten them up in a minute. I cannot believe my ocky strap idea actually works. So I've just threaded those bolts through and they're furthest one back, so this is as far forward as possible. I thought it wasn't going to clear here, but yep, sure enough, it does, absolutely, 100%. And then there appears to be, oddly, there's more room on this side than there is on this side, so it's very weird, very weird. But I've only got it on the outside on that side, so that's definitely correct over there. Ooh. That's definitely on the outside one there, that's cool. That's definitely meant to the outside one there too, so that's all sweet. And then obviously that is that. Maybe it's because of the shape of the boot trimming. Maybe there's more in. Oh, I know why. Yeah, okay, cool. So this model has the air vent for the rear blower. So there would be tubing here in this panel to send air up into these vents. And there obviously just isn't that here. So that's why there's more room on this side. Okay, cool. So if your model is that, don't be alarmed. It is installed correctly. It's just there's more room over here than there is over here because of this extra tubing in this panel here. And you can still get the windows open, obviously, and then the bolts don't. The bolts clear the windows. But yeah, so I've got that mounted back as far as I can and as low as I can to get the most space out of it as I possibly can. Obviously now there's only, X amount of room here. But once I've done these up and lots of stuff, looks like everything's going to fit really, really well. So that's what it's sort of going to look like. I'm going to do these bolts up and then get these ocky straps out to show the final product. So I'm just going to button up these ones here until they're tight as I feel comfortable with. They are a 10mm bolt nut combo. So for torque spec nerds, if I'm reading this correctly, you're going to want to put these down to 44 Newton meters. But me, I'm just going to do up them until I feel tight enough. I'm probably going to get to that point anyway. I might even over tighten them by accident. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take these ockies out, and then we'll go from there. So here's the final product, fully installed. It's pretty solid. You can hear that, no rattles, nothing like that. That's cool. It's got obviously the back to be able to prevent stuff from falling forwards into the car, and then there's that. It's got a rated capacity of 10 kilograms, which is a lot of stuff actually. It's I'm probably going to be putting my recovery straps in here. I'm probably going to be putting my first aid kit, EPIRB, stuff like that. Things like a manual for the car, and maybe my maps, because these are things that are going to be I definitely don't want these getting wet. So that sort of stuff will go up in there. I might even add one of their switchboards here for my interior or maybe exterior lighting, so that's cool as well. And then yeah, that's going to be a great bit of extra storage space. So all the stuff that you didn't have a home for anymore can now live up in there instead. Okay, so there you have it. Yeah, that's how easy it is to install the KAON roof shelf. I'm going to call it a loft because, I mean, that's what it is. But here we are. I reckon all in all, I think if I wasn't faffing about for half of it, I probably would have spent about, 30 minutes is pretty accurate. I think it's more like 30 minutes if you have a friend. The setup for, rigging the Oki straps to stand it up took me about 10 minutes extra, so I took about 45, including filming. So yeah, half an hour is pretty accurate. So this is cool. I like this a lot. Thank you again so much for tuning in. If you have any ideas of what I should park up here, leave them in the comments below. But beyond that, we'll catch you next time. Thanks again for tuning in to Knowlesy's Outdoors. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers.